Well, my name is JC, aka I guess you can say. My name is Jason Wilder. I have been uh released from prison after doing 24 years. I've been out for about a year and approximately uh 3 or 4 months, I would say. So just back in society, God fearing man, basic basically trying to you know make the rest of my life the best of my life, after doing all that time, and trying to make sure that I am utilizing the tools and the jewels that I found while I was incarcerated. It was 2000, well, actually, yeah, 2023 in November. I was put on house arrest for like 3 months, and then I was released from that. So I mean, from November, December, January, February, March, April, yeah, like 16 months, you could say. I was released from the South Bend Reentry Center. I was in Westville before that. That's where I met Sam Burkett, and before that, I was at Pendleton, behind the wall. Well, I'm originally from South Bend, so that was, awesome for me to be able to even land a bed, a bunk in the South Bend Reentry Center. But as far as my journey is concerned, man, I work now for Oakland. Was at Suzuki. That's where the job that I had, which was a wiring processing plant in South Bend. I was around the corner from the Reentry Center, and I stayed there all the way up until January 13th of this month is when I start working at Oakland, and I'm a peer support professional where we lend our lives and our stories and lived experience to the conversation to breathe hope and life into individuals who may have suicidal ideations or who may be struggling with substance abuse disorder. So, it's my job to be able to come in there and to connect and to just share my story, because a lot of the therapists and the workers and guys like that, they don't have the lived experience. So Oakland actually values the lived experience that us peer support professionals offer, and it's an honor and a blessing to even be a part of that, because it's kind of like a capstone to my journey going through what I went through in my past to be able to get on this side and to do something that I was doing unofficially all those years in prison, talking to individuals and giving hope to people who felt like they may not be able to make it to see another day or make it through today. Being able to do that officially and actually get compensated monetarily for it, um, while out here in the free world. So the reentry process for me started the day that I got locked up. uh, when I got to Pendleton, actually when I received my sentence, I told the judge that what I was going to do is use this time to fill up my toolbox. So I even though I went through the different struggles that I went through as far as trying to um, taper off some of the behaviors and thinking that I had, that led me to that place. I tried to make it a point to come on up, and educate myself as much as I could, to seek wise counsel from people that was in the prison setting, who who had maybe had a longer tooth than me, with a little bit more wisdom, and showed me how to move while I was there. And to get to that space now, it's like everything that I have been working on set me up for this transition. You know what I mean? Once I was able to get back into society, I had already been working on, changing my talk and changing my walk and changing my way of thinking so that I can present myself, what I mean, as a returning citizen back into society versus just another person who got out, who's probably going to, end up back in there in the next year. So my journey, my re-entry process has been pretty smooth because I prepared myself for it. I don't know. I can't say that it's been difficult for me. I mean, I might be a special case. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But again, just all these years, I'm a proponent of, this old saying that it take 10,000 hours to master something. You know what I mean? And because of that, back when I was in Pendleton, I was telling people my name is 10 stacks. You know what I mean? Because I'm chasing greatness. I want to be great at, what it is that I'm gonna be doing, or not even what I'm gonna be doing, but who I am as a person. So I have been practicing, cutting people off and distancing myself from individuals who I felt like were toxic and not right for me. And focusing in on having a work ethic, even with the little odd jobs that I had inside. I call myself mastering ethics, like, work ethic. Like, okay, you might be tired, but get up and go to work anyway. You know what I mean? Find the joy in being able to go to work. Know that somebody wish they had your job. So it's like, no, and appreciate your job. Appreciate the genuine friends and family that you have around you who support you, because everybody don't have that. So for myself, I mean, I can't necessarily say that it's been hard, because I've seen hard. You see what I'm saying? I lived in hard for 24 years, and I had to master it on that level. So to come here, everything is beautiful. So I can't necessarily say that there's a anything hard about me re-entering into society, because I've already had to tackle uh what that even looks like. It's a paradigm shift. You know what I mean? I can't say that if I take an L today that I took a loss. No, I didn't take a loss. I learned another lesson. There is no losses. So there is no hardships. There's just, learning what's going on and getting with the program and finding how you're going to be able to move in this. There was a counselor, my caseworker. He was able to, when my CTP came up, because it's not guaranteed, which is community transition program. You have your time, but when you get to like X amount of, like, say, 6 months from the time that you release, you are eligible to be, slowly integrated into society by going to house arrest. And when they found out that I was eligible, my caseworker had called and talked to the people who, who did that in the downstate or whatever, and he told them, like, well, he's from South Bend, he's already been working out in the community, he's been doing this and that, all the different community outreach things that we have been doing. And he told that person that, and they was like, oh, okay, well, since he's been doing all this and he's from there, we're just gonna shoot him straight to house arrest. Put me on what they call the band, where you put the monitor on your ankle, the ankle monitor, because I would have had to go to Dukem Center, which is where they have it at. They have the house arrest stuff at, but I would have been a resident there versus being able to come home and do the rest of my little time while I was still, transitioning. So that was cool. This, again, the reentry center and just everything that they have been doing, and their whole setup was a blessing to me, just simply because I was able to save some money, and I didn't have to come out and worry about where money was going to come from. And not only that, but I left with a good job, which is, local. So I was able to keep that source of income coming. My church, that I was born and raised in, they have been awesome, in the sense that while I was still in the reentry center, I was able to connect with them, and they allowed for my mother to come pick me up on Sundays while I was still in there, and take me to church and be gone for 3 hours and then come back. That was a blessing. And I would say the HIP, Healthy Indiana plan, that insurance, I think it's marketplace insurance. Though a lot of people they had their nose in the air, these different places, a lot of people didn't take it, but I was able to actually get a hernia surgery taken care of under that hip insurance. So, that was a blessing as well. I guess a easier path to um get credit. My credit is cool. I'm at like it's like 649, 653, no, 664. You know what I mean? But it's been a process, because I ain't never had credit before, and I had got stuck in like that uh perpetual motion where I was just stuck, and it's I had a secure card. I had got a $300, still got a $300 secure card, but $300, when you taking care of stuff ain't enough, and they like, well, you need to only use like about 9 or 10 or 11% of your the debt limit. And I'm like, that's like $30 or $40. I can't do nothing with that. What I mean? I have since they actually awarded me to send me my $300 back, and ended up giving me an opportunity to get an unsecured card. So I'm take advantage of that. But I mean, I don't know. For the most part, I mean, resources that I think would have been better for me. I mean, I gotta think for somebody else, because I mean, I don't know, man. I just felt like everything was there. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, just because I was in a position that I was placed in a position where I didn't really have to ask for anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I personally, and I might be a bad interviewee. You know what I mean? Because I, I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Like, everything has been good. You know what I mean? I haven't had no issues. I've been to all my court dates, and my probation and all that stuff. All that has been cool. Well, actually, I'm having a issue with trying to submit this application to start this master program online for social work.
Oh,
I got
nice.
all of my documents and information and stuff. It's four quadrants to this process to complete your submission for your application. And I got all of them, but for the month or the first semester that I had did at Ball State, they're asking for a GPA for that. You know what I mean? Now I have contacted Ball State, and they have transferred or sent the transcripts, but it hasn't uploaded. The school has recognized that they have them, but they're like, oh well, when you're able to submit, when you're ready to submit it, all that stuff will fall into place. Well, I done did everything. I got my sample letter together and all this different type of stuff, and I'm trying to push submit, and it won't let me submit. So I'm stuck at a rock and a hard place with that. And the deadline is like the 15th, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. I might have to wait till the fall semester to start. It's the job, in the sense that they one thing I do like about it, they promote upward mobility, and they got a reimbursement program. So it's like, man, what do you want to do? What are you up for? And I'm like, yeah, I would love to get back in school, and to acquire that, man, uh to get that, so that I can have a spot. And the question that's always posed is, well, what are you trying to do with this social work degree or whatever? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like just obtaining that will open doors and put me in a position to find out what it is that I want to do, simply because freedom comes, options is your freedom is where your options are at. You know what I mean? When you have more options, you have more freedom. So I just want to be able to have more options, and for that, with my family as well. I mean, for the individuals who may hear this, people who are still incarcerated, I just want to encourage you, brothers, to keep on keeping on. Your time is coming, but to prepare yourself, so that when you are able to, for the opportunity to come back home, you're not scrambling to figure it out. You know what I mean? You can just ease into life. There was one of these trainings that I had for my job. It talks about how a person was stressed out because his day was thrown off, and before he's screaming at the wife, screaming at the kids, and he just needed help with just managing some of the small things in life. And the person who the physician who was talking to him had made a valid point. He was like, set your alarm clock so that you're able to get up early enough to ease into life. You know what I mean? Because when you don't ease into life, you throw your whole day off. You know what I mean? And I want to encourage anybody under the sound of my voice that you need to get in a position where you're easing into life, especially individuals that's returning citizens back into society. Don't wait until they're telling you that your outdate is here to start trying to get your life together. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Start now. If you haven't been, start now so that you can ease into life and set yourself on a course for success so you won't have to return. That's all I would say.